meets leather, we're underway. Hyman will let it go through for the touchback. Cam Porter is an outstanding running back. He'll flank him, and they go with 3 wides. On first down, look curl pattern to A.J. Henning, the former Wolverine. This game means a lot to him. Here he goes again with Porter. And that little counter works beautifully out for a first down past the 40-yard line. Graduate student from Cincinnati. Where's that #1 jersey that means an awful lot in Northwestern football history? Pistol formation here. Following the tight end. Hard to beat the edge of this Michigan football team. Jayshon Barham. He can stick it. Joseph Hyman now moves out to a wide receiver spot. They go empty with 5 wide. Now the maneuverability you're going to see, and he overshoots Hyman. He'd love to have that one back.
You got Zeke Berry, who's now playing that corner position, was a safety against one of their most talented wide receivers, Bryce Kurtz.
3rd down and 10, pressure up the middle. Lausch finds some room, throws it. That ball might have been picked by Hall right at the sidelines. Yes, it is Michigan football. Davis Warren, the senior from Manhattan Beach, California, trying to get them bowl eligible. And the veteran Donovan Edwards is behind him. They've had difficulty running the football this year. Little play fake to him, and that's a pass out to Morris on an RPO. Tyler Morris, the junior from Bolingbrook, Illinois, with the reception, gets it into Northwestern territory at the 49.
We talked about it already, the QB carousel at Michigan. They just haven't found consistency in any way, and it's going to be up to Davis Warren, right? He's going to have to work on his fundamentals. He got a chance to work on them this past week in the bye week, and you look to see real improvement today.
Yeah, they were hoping the bye week would be of great benefit to him. Ball security was better at Indiana in their last game. And they want to make sure that they don't turn it over today. Donovan Edwards finds just the crack on the left-hand side. Is very close to a first down. Kalel Mullings has checked in at running back, number 20. Get that ball out quickly, and he does again to Tyler Morris. And he's inside the 35 to the 33-yard line. They'll mark him about a yard shy after a gain of 9. Xander Mueller, number 34, with a tackle.
This is a gimme. It's almost 10 yards off soft coverage. You get that screen outside, and then Colston Loveland, a guy who catches all the passes. Guess what? He's an outstanding blocker out front as well. Morris does what he can and makes it a 2nd and short. This is an opportunity for that deep play action, right? Show that run fake, come out of it, and get the ball down the field behind the Northwestern safeties.
See what they do with a 2nd down and a long one. Playbook should be wide open. Oh, hand it right off to Mullings. Mullings has the first down. Turner again the stop after a gain of 2. Marlon Klein is coming as an extra tight end, number 17. Play fake. And that pass is batted down. Tremendous pressure coming off the edge. Flores and a number of others were involved, getting high into the air to bat that one down. 2nd down and 10 coming up.
Yeah, you see it all the time. If you can't get to the quarterback, get those hands up and make sure you bat the ball down. Davis Warren can sometimes have a little bit of a low trajectory, and that ball stopped. And I'm just telling you, as a quarterback, you absolutely hate it, right? You got a guy open, and then the ball's batted down at the line of scrimmage.
That was Brendan Flakes, 15. He got his big mid up there. Again, another quick out. Kendrick Bell, number 12, with the catch. As the Wolverines passing game, a little dinking and dunking here. Very effective early. He'll get 8 on that play.
Yeah, what Northwestern is doing is they're giving really soft coverage, right? They're running those corners back. And when those corners are back in cover 3 or cover 4, you have those outside routes. And if you can hit those layups, it's going to open up more things down the field. But you have to make sure you make them pay for the soft coverage.
Michigan's conversion rate on 3rd down, just under 40% on the year. And it's a quick pitch towards the boundary. Edwards cuts it back up for the first down. Loveland, the tight end, who rarely lines up next to the tackle, is down at the bottom of the screen. This is the part of the field where they really look to him. if not to number 7, up the gut, and he stopped for a yard gain, and that's it. Loveland comes back in tight now at tight end. And a little underneath pattern to Morris that fooled no one. Great coverage by into the corner, incomplete, and a marker down. Loveland, and Theron Johnson's going to be tagged with interference.
Teams have had success with the circus route. You hear me talking about it all the time.
Pass interference, defense number 10. The foul occurred in the end zone. The ball placed at the 2-yard line. It's first down and goal.
Yeah, he had the shoulder pad held without question, and he did not turn his head backward either to spot the ball. Looks like a timeout has been taken.
They have a lot of success off this left side of the offensive line.
Mullings dots the I and takes it to the goal line. Touchdown, Michigan. Dominic Zvada with the extra point. We'll see what Brian Kelly has up his sleeve moving forward. That one goes 2 first-rounders in that front line, and they try to run Porter through there, and you see how that ended. Nada, senor. And pressure again, and down he goes. Kenneth Grant. Third down and 18. Porter does get to the edge, but doesn't get a lot of yardage, but a late flag comes down. Uh-oh, let's see. Thrown in an area where you think perhaps holding, but we'll wait and see. Jeffrey Cervinsky is our referee, the white hat today. Our replay official upstairs is Tom Herbert, and it is holding.
And you expect Michigan to decline the penalty.
Holding. Offense number 80. That penalty is declined. It is fourth down.
High and poor end over end punt. It takes a horrific bounce for Northwestern out of bounds back in their own territory. Great field position to start both drives. Togger Morris on the receiving end. Loveland with a little motion, now in a slot right. And they look in his way. He's got it. You're not asking too much of him. Play within yourself. Edwards, well, they sort of flooded the zone with that rollout to the wide side of the field. Warren audibilizes into this play and nothing doing. Edwards stopped by Matt Uline, 37, the middle linebacker.
The ruling on the field was a fumble was recovered by the offense. That play is under further review. The ruling on the field stands as called. It's third down.
Benjamin Hall is in the backfield, number 28 for Michigan. A lot of pressure, and down goes Warren. Aiden Hubbard, 91. Had a season-high 4 tackles last week in that game with Ohio State. Wrigley, you think about the 24 tackles, he's a tough customer, that guy.
Yeah, it's a nice job just walking the guard into the quarterback. Watch him just get in that forward lean position and power his way all the way to Davis Warren. We talked about the inability to have success on 3rd and 7+, and that trend continues with this field goal opportunity.
Well, Zvada has hit field goals of 50 and 56. This will be another 56-yard try. Oh, my goodness. He got it. Hyman lets it go through yet again for the touchback. Just a nice cold gray Big Ten day. Lausch's pass is caught. And the turf monster gets Bryce Kurtz right away after a gain of 8. It'll be 2nd and 2. Zach Lujan told us, the offensive coordinator, we need to stay ahead of the chains. And they get 8 on first down, and look at this. Potential tackle for loss, but a nice stutter step to salvage the play by Hyman, coming down to the end of the quarter. Cam Porter will take it ahead for the first down. Play fake to him. Pressure from the backside. It's Josiah Stewart. Their record may not be that great, but this defense, particularly up front, really fantastic. A.J. Henning on the receiving end. Lausch running out of time again. Bailed out by the tight end, Thomas Gordon, 87. High snap, but Renner was able to control it. Gets the kick away, and it is rolling down inside the 5, dead at the 3. I think the fans thought that ball might have been touched by a defender. Boy, he got hammered, and that ball is secured. That's the good news, but nothing doing as Xander Mueller made the stop at the point of attack.
Yeah, it's a nice job of getting into the backfield. They create an opportunity for number 4, Anto Saka, to cross the face of the tackle and get into the backfield right away. And the running back, Ben Hall, has nothing that he can do. However, he does a nice job of staying forward and not losing yards.
Yeah, Saka, that defensive end, 6'4", 247, set that one up for Mueller.
He's got really good pass rush skills, but you saw his ability as a run stopper on that play.
2nd and 10. Davis Warren over the middle to Morris. Got him a little breathing room out to the 10, maybe the 11. So give a couple of maybe 2.5 to 3 yards shy of a first down. Mueller again the stop.
Nice job, Davis Warren, going to the left with his eyes and then coming back to the middle. We call that progression, a pure progression read. Start left, progress across, and you find your open target. Morris standing right over the football to set up a 3rd and a lot more manageable.
This is where you stack the box. You know what's coming, but can you stop it? 3rd down and 2. Hall remains the setback.
Follow Ben Bredesen.
Play fake. Oh, they're going to air it out. And it's Bredesen. You're all right. One more time. Kirk Campbell looks on, the offensive coordinator for this Michigan team. Hall, nothing doing this time. 2nd and 10. Davis Warren lets it fly. Oh, beautiful outlet to Benjamin Hall, but that was well read. What a tremendous tackle in space. Blitz off the corner. That pass is intercepted. It's Mueller, Xander Mueller. That one was airmailed by Warren. Komolafe, number 25, is now in the backfield. They go with an offset formation, and it's Caleb Komolafe. Down he goes inside the 10. It's a first down, Northwestern. He ran with intentionality there. That was their largest gain of the day from scrimmage. Now Lausch on a design quarterback counter. And now, because of the lack of depth, they're having to play a lot more downs, both he and Kenneth Grant. Wink Martindale told us, I don't get him ready for the NFL. Komolafe the setback. Lausch again, this time in trouble. And ad-libs his way out of bounds, just shy of the 10. In the red zone, only 49% of the time have they gotten touchdowns. Lausch straight back, pressured again, lets it fly, and just got rid of it. That time he wisely airmailed it. Luke Akers, 6 out of 9 in field goals, lines this one up from 28 yards. And it's 10-3. On first down, Edwards trying to bounce it outside to no avail. Great pressure. Josh Fussell, 13, the cornerback, strung it out. Loss of 2. Back to the 23-yard line. Fussell had 7 big tackles in that game with the Buckeyes a week ago.
Yeah, and when you're a cornerback that's kind of a cover 2 corner, or even when you're in cover 4, if you see run, you've got to trigger fast. And Fussell does an outstanding job of triggering fast and getting a talented running back to the ground by himself.
Well, you see the numbers on Warren, 10 out of 12, but that one pick allowed Northwestern to get the field goal, and they read this one pretty quickly too. To Donovan Edwards, Damon Walters this time, the free safety making the stop.
Right, these cover 4 and cover 6 safeties, they trigger fast, right? They get down and they make sure they make plays on those short routes. Take a look at number 21, Damon Walters. He's the cover 4 safety. He is racing as soon as that ball gets thrown to make a play. Outstanding job of making a tackle behind the line of scrimmage, and they get Michigan yet again in that situation they desperately do not want to be in, 3rd and long.
Couple of 2-yard losses forces them into a 3rd and 14. That's a nice pass to Mullings. He's got some room, but he'll be a couple of yards shy of the first down. Out to near the 33 for a gain of 12. So those 2-yard losses problematic. Aiden Hubbard, 91, able to run him down, and they're into a punt formation here.
It's a big win for Northwestern, right? They get points on the board, and then in the following drive, they take that momentum and they transfer to the defensive side of the ball and get 2 negative plays and then a stop so they can get the ball back for their offense.
Doman will punt it away, averaging just over 42 yards per boot. A.J. Henning is the single safety. High, spiraling punt. Henning from his 19, and look out. A lot of green grass to the field side. And a tremendous return for outstanding field position. Cam Porter back in the backfield on first down with the ball at the 46. Great field position after the punt return by Henning. Look out, going long for Kurtz. Kurtz comes up with it. A magnificent adjustment. He saw the ball, it was underthrown, and he made Michigan pay.
What an outstanding adjustment to make this catch by Kurtz. He slides down safe like he's running to first base. Outstanding job of a double move route. We talked about it. He goes, then he stutters. Now, this is a nice job by Zeke Berry, standing position, but the throw's underthrown. He adjusts, and what an outstanding catch.
They doubled their overall offense with that one play. They had 39 yards, and they got 39 on that pass completion. Porter ahead for 2, and that's all. Lausch underneath to Porter, and Cam Porter gets it inside the 10. Cam Porter lines up behind Lausch, out of the pistol. 2 wides and an extra tight end. Lausch has passed to the corner to Kurtz. Knocked away by Zeke Berry. He may have been deked, Zeke. Not the easiest of angles when you're this close. Hash on the right side as they go for the field goal Akers. Well, he puts it through without a problem. This kick is going to go out of bounds, which will give them great field position at the 35.
Kick out of bounds. Kicking team number 11. The ball will be placed at the 35-yard line.
Donovan Edwards in the backfield, and he'll be the out pitch on the check down, and he'll get it to about the 43-yard line, so a gain of 8 on that pass play. Going back to Skip, I wanted to mention him because he's close to both you and me, and his wife Jennifer. He went on and on about how close Skip's wife Jennifer was to Kristen, Coach Braun's wife. helping him become the successful coach he was as the Big Ten Coach of the Year a season ago. Frederick Moore makes that catch, stops the clock with a gain of 6.
This is good. This is good by Davis Warren. The one thing you're seeing is his ability to stay in the pocket, right? They've been working very hard with him on getting up in the pocket, climbing up into the pocket rather than popping back and creating danger for himself. That time he gets into the pocket and he finds a receiver outside more, and he's able to get him out of bounds as well.
All of his completions have been short passes like these, quick outs, slants, and such. Peyton O'Leary receives that one for a gain of 6. He did airmail a pass down the seam that led to an interception.
Yeah, they're choosing to go fast here rather than use one of those 3 timeouts, and I can say I do agree with it.
He's 15 out of 17 for 90 yards is number 16, and Edwards trying to get to that second level. Spot him right at the 41 for the first down, so move the chains.
That extra effort, I think, gave him the first down. He dives, and so now you can reserve those 3 timeouts as well. And now the playbook is completely open. You've crossed the 50. You're in territory where you can start to go and get in the end zone.
Out of the shotgun, Warren again underneath on the check down to Edwards. Pretty simple. And they are well within field goal territory for that big leg of Dominic Zvada. That one thrown in the dirt as the pressure started to come to Davis Warren in the area of Donovan Edwards. So it's 2nd and 10.
As much as you would like an accurate throw, that's not all bad, just because that ball's probably going to be tackled in bounds before first down, so you'd have to use one of those timeouts, and it would have been a minimal gain anyway.
Well, you see they've got 2 left, Northwestern with 1. Frederick Moore, the wide receiver, he's a speed merchant, number 3, down at the bottom of your screen. Warren's pass incomplete. Loveland running that crossing pattern, a deep over as you like to call it, nothing doing. 3rd down and 10.
This is a really nice job by Mueller, and we've seen him have that interception, be in position, and that time he's playing that underneath coverage versus man-to-man, right? So he's sitting right here. He starts to move, and he's underneath, and Davis Warren can't see him, and he's able to dive outside and make sure he stops that play. That's essentially a double team on Colston Loveland.
Davis Warren has some room, threads the needle to Frederick Moore. And he's got the first down. Theron Johnson with the stop, so now they can take a shot if they like.
Since Davis Warren has come back, we've started to see him start to create with his legs. Watch him string this out, string it out, string it out. You always have the luxury of throwing the football away. He throws it back inside, and Moore understands that his quarterback is moving, and he gets nice and friendly. Outstanding play by Davis Warren.
Yeah, I think Theron Johnson was surprised that he chose to throw it in that direction. 20 yards on that completion. That's their longest play offensively of the afternoon. Playbook is open. Back of the end zone, incomplete. Intended for Tyler Morris, number 8. Warren on this drive, 5 out of 8 for 50 yards. By far the most productive of the day for him. Play fake. And there's Loveland. There's Loveland. Just shy of the 2. Timeout. Mullings in the backfield on 3rd and 2. Warren. Loveland. Touchdown. Jordan Marshall is deep and calls for the fair catch. They'll bring it out. Kalel Mullings is in the backfield, number 20. Giving Donovan Edwards a little respite to start this half. And those fresh legs of Mullings get out for a first down, a gain of 13. Mullings had 6 yards of rushing at the half, and he's got twice that on one play, and he's going to double up and then some on this play. 47 yards. And you're right, Link with a marvelous block to springboard that play. Donovan Edwards burrows ahead for about 2, maybe 3. Donovan Edwards is moving in on a record himself as a running back pass receiver. We'll keep an eye on that. He was on the receiving end of a lot of those checkdowns by Davis Warren in the first half. 2nd down and 8 coming up. Mullings is back in there. Quick pitch. Mullings running tough. He planted that foot and cut right back upfield. Stopped by Michael Kilbane, 47. Backup defensive end, sophomore from Lakewood, Ohio. A gain of 3. 3rd down and 5 coming up.
So in this area of the field and the way that the Michigan defense is played, Michigan can truly treat this like 4-down territory where they run a run play here to try to get this yardage, or they can drop their quarterback Davis Warren back. And I believe that he's played well enough. He's proven that he can be trusted here in this game, that they can feel comfortable doing so.
Out of the shotgun. Right up the gut. It's Mullings. It's touchdown. That brought, I'm sure, a few smiles to the old running back alumni. Hyman is back deep for Northwestern. And they'll start. It's tough for anyone, even one that can move around like Lausch. Quick cross incomplete. Dropped. Marshall Lang, 88, the tight end, was hearing some footsteps. Cam Porter in the backfield out of the shotgun. Lausch's pass is cradled at the 32 by A.J. Henning. Down he goes. Back at the 20. Renner will have to boot it away, and the pressure comes. End over end punt. Tyler Morris, look out. Open spaces to the 45 of Northwestern. Play fake to Mullings. And Tyler Morris just sort of sat down on that one. And will get it to the 34-yard line of Northwestern for a 1st down. Little reverse to Frederick Moore. And a nice saving tackle in space by Coco Azama, wearing the numeral 0, the team captain. Old school safety, a big-time hitter for this Northwestern team after a gain of 7.
That's a really nice tackle, right? You're in open space, and it's hard to get these athletes to the ground, but he does an outstanding job. Azama is their biggest hitter, right? And so you don't even have to wrap up when you're a big-time hitter. You just give a nice pop, and he gets to the ground.
Micah Kapaana has come in.
Yeah, they said they would try to get him the football at some point. He's a really nice athlete for Michigan's future.
Number 29, and just moved out of 25 to wearing that numeral. And they said, yes, he would get in. That pass does fall incomplete, and it's 3rd down. There he is. There's
everybody
Micah.
in the building is raving about this young man. A support staff, I've heard all good things about his future and his explosiveness and ability to make plays with the football in his hands, and I can't wait to see him, right? Yeah. He's from Bishop Gorman, right? A power that everybody knows about, so it'd be cool to see him get an opportunity and show what he's really got.
Hawaiian background, so it's Ka'apana, pronunciation of his surname, and Mullings is back in. 3rd down and 3. Right up the middle again. He is running hard. Hinton, Preeb, Crippen, Al-Hadi, and Link all performing admirably today in that forward wall for Michigan. On the check down, Mullings. Nothing doing this time for Mullings. Three wides to the top of your screen. It's Marlon Klein. It's in the slot, coming in motion.
Kendrick Bell's got a one-on-one down at the bottom of your screen.
Mullings again. Oh, he almost broke that. It's an end around to Morris. Tyler Morris near the sticks for what would be a 1st and goal. This time it'll be 2nd down and short. The line to make, just being inside the 3.
Yeah, it's almost the perfect defense for jet sweep, where they call this jet sweep versus man-to-man coverage, and so the man is just chasing across the field to make the play before the end zone.
That Northwestern defense is breathing hard.
Yeah.
They are a bit gassed. Tim Margile, the defensive coordinator, looking for something to dial up to keep Michigan out of the end zone. Mullings has the 1st down, and Xander Mueller again get that foot on the jugular and not let go. Mullings, touchdown. Hyman with the return. And he gets it out to the 21-yard line.
I mean, but Tim, there's a lot of game left. And so but if you want to stay in this game and become bowl eligible today, Jack Louch has to spark something. Something has to happen on this drive.
And that something happening is courtesy the defensive front, Rayshawn Benny.
Rayshawn Benny making his presence felt.
Well, that loss of 3 has them down to 78 total yards. More pressure off the edge, and down he goes. Komolafe has checked in at running back. I don't know that he's got time to get a seam route off, if at all. And just as I say that, he gets it off, and Bryce Kurtz with a must catch. And they advance the ball to the 35 for the 1st down, a gain of 19.
A really nice catch. It's a breaking in route, but watch the details. Vertical and then reduce back so that you can cut down the angle of the throw and not allow the down safety to make a play. Outstanding details in that route, and a great throw by quarterback Jack Louch to convert on 3rd down.
From the 35, 1st down. Komolafe remains in at running back. Little RPO that was well read and almost picked. Henning did catch it. Louch in trouble. Airmailed the pass, incomplete for Henning near midfield. Over the middle and caught. And once again, Marshall Lang gets it out for the necessary yardage to move the sticks again out to the 46.
The one thing that Jack Louch has worked extremely hard on is playing on time. 1, 2, 3, hitch, and drive that ball on the numbers of your tight end. It gives Lang the opportunity to catch and power his way for a 1st down.
Well, to your point, they are playing as though the game's on the line right now, Northwestern. Louch, that pass was overthrown, intended for Kurtz. He had him. Louch is now 10 of 17 for 106 yards. 2nd and 10, and he's got Joseph Hyman behind him. And again, they go with that RPO look. They set it up.
Keep your eyes on number 1, Jay Sean Barham. He's the spy.
Incomplete. Kurtz, the intended receiver, Amir Hall in coverage. David Brown decides to go for it on 4th and 13. They're 11 of 15 on the year. That's 73%. But this is a tough take. Intercepted by Mason Curtis. They got a flag down.
Morning, Michigan. It's their 1st of the ball game. There's no yardage penalty involved. 1st down and 10, Michigan. Timeout on the field.
And as we come back, this pass is caught by Bredesen. And number 44, who's done some damage blocking today, has also been on the receiving end a couple of times.
Does that not look like when he's just blocking? Right now he's just blocking with a football. Boom! I mean, that is violent. Controlled aggression. Outstanding job by Bredesen.
Sort of the theme of my partner when he gets to the booth. Controlled aggression.
True.
Yeah.
I can't even deny it. It's true. No lies detected.
Edwards had a great time chatting with Donovan yesterday, and he kind of kept it in perspective. And I said to him, you know, he's one of the most exciting and enjoyable college players I've ever seen play, and he just took it in stride. He's got some attitude about him.
Yeah.
A lot of fun, and a young man that, like so many today, is enjoying this last opportunity to play at home. And as we come to the end of the third quarter, it'll be 3rd and 4 when we come out of the break. We open the fourth quarter. They've got the ball at their own 48-yard line, facing a 3rd down and 4. Tim Brando, Devin Gardner, Josh Sims. Happy you joined us today on FS1. Wolverines looking like their old selves. This young man playing his best game ever, and there's Marlon Klein, number 17. It's like the blue sea opened up for Donovan Edwards. Saving tackle by Damon Walters. From the 20-yard line, Edwards now with 45 on the ground, 17 receiving. There he goes again. Big time.
Nice job by Donovan Edwards, sticking that left foot in the ground and getting all the way to the end zone. Michigan has done an outstanding job in the interior of their offensive line of moving guys and also protecting in the pass game.
Statistically, his best game of the season was at Washington. But he's moving in on that kind of day. Hyman from his 2. Trying to stay alive, but there's too much maize and blue. Stop around the 14. I think they'll mark him forward progress at the 15 before pushing him back. Porter. That pass is incomplete, intended for Marshall Lang. Morris with the fair catch at the 37-yard line.
This kid is special. His record as a high school athlete is pristine. Two state championships. I mean,
yeah.
And I know for a fact how hard he's worked right throughout his career, even as a little kid, playing for the Wolverines in Little League football, and look who he's linked up with, right? That's Michigan royalty right there, and Bryce Underwood is hoping to enter into the rare air that young man he's standing next to is in.
Let's see. I believe I've seen some documentaries about some of those guys. 8-yard gain there. Jordan Marshall with that last tote remains in the backfield on 2nd down and a long 2. Let's pound the rock from this point forward for Michigan. keep that momentum going and keep your #1 guys as healthy as possible going into next week. Well, as you and I talk about this game in this moment, understanding what's going on in the world around us, Colorado is in peril.
Yeah.
Ole Miss has already gone down to Florida. We're talking about teams that were hoping to be, in the college football playoff, still alive. There's a lot more out there, too. Upsets aplenty, and we're only halfway through the day here in late November.
And everyone sitting in this stance is hoping for one of those upsets next week as we see the true freshman get his opportunity.
Look out! Boy, that's a big-time tackle, because if it's not made, Jordan Marshall just keeps on chugging. He gets 6 on that one.
Yeah, they're really happy about the future of the running back room. And they brought in Tony Alford, running back coach. He was at Ohio State, and he's a guy that's developed a ton of talented running backs. So they really love what they have in their room, and they look to add to it along with Bryce Underwood in the future.
Out pattern is incomplete, intended for Kendrick Bell. Tyler Morris down to the 15 and a first down. Apani, and he'll be wrestled down at about the 12. It's hard to believe, but it's true. Their preseason ranking was number 8.
Yeah.
They were 8th in the country.
So not
to
only
open
the
this
fans,
season.
everybody thought it.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's down to the 5-yard line.
I mean, you imagine that they would go inside, right? They have had great push and great recreation of the line of scrimmage from those interior guys, and they go behind them again and pick up the first down. Great movement, just washing everyone down. The free hitter is too late. He can't make the play, and a nice job of falling forward by Marshall.
Everybody in tight. Marshall dots the I. Trying to bounce it outside, and he's in a world of hurt. That one was botched, and he's tackled back at the 10 by Devin Turner and Najee Story. Incomplete. Great pressure off the edge that time. Hurried that throw intended for Marlon Klein. And it'll be 3rd down and goal. Incomplete. Tyler Morris was the intended receiver. Again, some pressure, and that'll bring out the field goal unit. Matched his career long with a 56-yarder in the first half. And the 40 spot has been hit. Here comes the return by Hyman, and again, he can't quite get beyond the 15-yard line. Omolafe, nothing doing. Stopped at the 14-yard line. Incomplete. As we close the books on Lausch. Remember, he had no run game today, and that really hurt. Walensky has to dump this one off and get rid of it. And he was not outside the box. They're going to flag him. And I think he dumped it off in the end zone.
I think they'll pick it up because there's a running back in the area.
Yeah.
It's intentional grounding. Offense number 3. There was no receiver in the area.
That's a safety.
A foul occurred in the end zone by rule.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Hey, Tim, I think that's a bad call. It's a screen and the running back was clearly in the area.
Jordan Marshall awaits the free kick. Looks like they're going to squib it. Nope, he's going to go deep with it, end over end. And Marshall will have a chance from his 18. Oh boy, look at this. Look at this. And there he goes. Why not?
Result of the play is a touchdown. After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, Michigan number 56. That's his first of the ball game. That 15-yard penalty being forced on the ensuing kickoff.
What's going on? Well, Michigan's previous high for points coming into today's game was 30 points. And they've scored 50 twice last year versus Minnesota and Indiana. And they're at the 50 spot now. Komalafe past the 40 to the 42. Had a nice chat with Ward Manuel. A little wide receiver screen to Donnie Gray. There's a few other teams that are going to have a say-so tonight. We're going to be.
After the play was over, there was 2 unsportsmanlike conduct penalties, one against each team. Defense number 6, offense number 11. The penalties offset. It is second down.
Komalafe. Quick little screen pass.
Jerome Moore should be proud of the way his team represented today. And it was fun to call it with you, partner.
Well, I was just happy to ride your coattails into the big house. What an afternoon.